Welcome back to Swordman Josh Gaming, and today we're gonna go through me and Absolute did our own pre-release kits, and this is the deck that I built out of that pre-release kit. Beat him. I don't know how I would have done at a pre-released event. I'm sure I would have at least won two, if not more than one match. I don't know how this would have played out. We can only hypothetical, but this is what I built. It's Azorius. So we'll go through these: 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, my thought process as I put it together. So first off, my promo card was Skycat Sovereign. Since it's still in the sleeve, you'll notice I didn't pull it out. That's because Absolute had opened a booster box and he opened a regular copy of this, so I just slotted it in to my pre-release deck so I didn't have to open this card. But that was kind of the premise of being able to make Skycat Sovereign big and play some flying cards. It was probably my best bet. So, and then I'll go through some other notable pulls that we got while we were there. So, going through our 1-drops, our only 1-drop creature is Flourishing Fox. This really doesn't have a cycling sub-theme. There's a little bit of a human sub-theme in this, but Flourishing Fox was just a 1-drop filler. Then we had Solid Footing, just a great flash pump spell, and Light of Hope. Again, it's a pump spell or destroying an enchantment in case you get snared or something like that, and you can also gain 4 life with it. So that's all we had in our 1-drop. Our 2-drop was a little more extensive. Of course, we have the Skycat Sovereign. And in here, we have 2 creatures. Well, 3 creatures, including the Skycat. First is the Checkpoint Officer. This is an amazing card for Sealed and Draft. Just because that tap target creature, I don't know how many times tapping a creature down will actually allow you to win the game. And we have Savai Sabertooth. Generally, I don't like 3-1s for 2 because they generally will trade down with a 1-1 like that Flourishing Fox. But they can also serve as a good blocker and trade up possibly too. And then in our 2-drops, we have a couple of Anticipates for card draw. And we have a Startling Development, which can take that 1-1 Flourishing Fox and turn it into a 4-4 blocker for a turn. And if you don't need it, you can always just cycle it away. So that was our 2-drops. The chunk of our deck, of course, is in the 3-drop slot. I should have organized this some before we went through it. I ended up only playing 2 rares out of all of them that I pulled, and the other one's in the 3-drop slot. But I did pull 2 Helicar Gliders. This one you get, when it comes in, you get a choice of a flying or first strike counter. So it's either a 2-2 first strike or a 2-2 flyer. The 2-2 first strike can be relevant if you're playing somebody who's low to the ground. If not, if you have your Skycat Sovereign, the 2-2 flyer makes your Skycat Sovereign bigger. So 2 of those. A Keensight Mentor, which is just a way to pump all your creatures up. You get to give one of them Vigilance, non-human creature Vigilance, and then for a green and a white, you can tap it and put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control that have Vigilance. We have Stormwild Caprador. This is good against anybody who's playing any red burn stuff, because any non-combat damage dealt to this guy just gives it +1/+1 counters and it's prevented. We have Snare Tactician. Again, there wasn't any cycling in here to speak of, but I did need some creatures to be able to fill out my base. So Snare Tactics, whenever you cycle a card, tap target creature an opponent controls. Later game, if you pull that Flourishing Fox and he's out, you can always just tap down a creature. And it's a 2/3 body for 3, which isn't horrible. Perimeter Sergeant, I did say that there was a human sub-theme. So here is Perimeter Sergeant. Whenever he attacks, all other humans get +1/+0. That did come into effect. Farfinder is a filler and a mana fixer. Phase Dolphin is kind of interesting and allowed me to win one of our games because when it attacks, another target attacking creature can't be blocked, so it allowed me to get in for a kill. And it's a 1/4, so it makes for a great wall. Frost Links, again, you can tap down another creature. Convolute is our only counterspell, only pulled 1, but it's very splashable because it's a 1 blue mana pip. And then our other rare that we pulled, that we played, was Kahira. We didn't use it as a companion because we were playing other things besides cats, elementals, nightmares, dinosaurs, and beasts. But that ability, we are running quite a few cats and elementals in here. I don't think we're running any dinosaurs or any beasts, but that +1/+1 can help out, and the Vigilance also works with our Keensight Mentor. In our 4-drop, and I'm going to give this as a honorable 4-drop, this is the only thing in our 5-drop, this Majestic Auricorn, but I'm putting it in as an honorable 4-drop because more than likely you are never going to play this for 5. You're going to play it for 4 onto another creature, typically one of your lower drops, and it's a mutate for 4, and when it comes in you gain 4 life, and it creates a 4/4 vigilance out of one of your little weenie guys. So great card. This is my honorable 4-drop, which means we have nothing in the 5-drop slot, and we're going to set it over here. So this is where most of our removal's at. We have Day Squad Marshal. When it enters, you just get a 1/1 white human creature token. Gust of Wind, returning a non-land permanent to owner's hand and draw a card. And then we are running, I opened 3 Capture Spheres in my pre-release kit. So that's basically where all of our removal is sitting. What I ran land base wise, 8 plains, 6 islands. It worked out pretty well. I only had 1 game where I had trouble pulling an island to be able to play. Other than that, this deck worked out pretty well compared to what I wanted it to do. Now we'll get into some other notable pulls. You'll notice that I said that, and we'll go ahead and do this too. So everybody knows that you can only use 1 code on Arena. So I opened all total 3 pre-release kits. I let Absolute have one of the codes. I took one of the codes, and first come, first serve. Let's see if we can get it there in focus. That is an NMVU, so whoever wants that code, first come, first serve. If you take it, please let me know in the comments who took the codes. That way nobody else tries to input it. But there is a code for free 6 Ikoria packs. Now, I don't remember the exact rares I got out of my first Ikoria pre-release, but the pre-release card out of it was Ryella the Everwise pre-release, which she seems to be pretty popular right now. See if she makes it, but or if a standard deck can be made around her. But I think I have every single version of her, including the pre-release now. My Absolutes, I did pay for all the pre-release kits, so I kept all of the cards except for the code, and his that he opened was a pre-release Garuda Doom of Deaths, the plague of standard for all the Garuda mill copy clone decks. So those were the 3 pre-releases that we had out of it. Other notable hits from our pre-release kits. So we have a foil Ozolith, which came out of Absolute's kit. We have a foil Kitria Triome, which also came out of Absolute's kit. We have a regular Riella the Everwise, which came out of my kit. Winona, Joiner of Forces, came out of his kit. Kinnan, Bonder Prodigy, which seems like it's going to be a pretty good commander card, came out of my kit. Slitherwisp came out of my kit. Song of Creation came out of my kit, I believe. Obosh came out of his kit. Everquill came out of my kit. Sea Dasher Octopus alternate comic book art came out of his kit. Karuga came out of his kit, and he actually used this as his companion for his pre-release deck. Hunted Nightmare came out of his kit. Yudaro and Zaggoth Triome. So those are the other notable pulls, but out of a pre-release kit, actually this Riella's foil too. out of two pre-release kits to pull 3 foil rares is, well, actually this is out of 2 pre-release kits. The Riella came out of mine. 3 foil rares out of 2 pre-release kits is pretty astounding. I was very happy with it. And then of course me pulling this Kinnan was absolutely amazing also. So with that, we will call this one a quit. But yeah, that's the deck that in the amount of time that I had to build it, this is the deck that I probably would have run at the pre-release. I did have quite a few other white, the one that deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature, and the one that exiles a creature of power 4 or greater, or CMC 4 or greater, I forget which. I did have quite a few of those in the sideboard that I could have run as well for this deck, to be able to pack more removal if I needed to. But this would have been the base deck that I would have started with if I would have played at my pre-release. So if you guys liked it, let me know. Leave a comment down below. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button so you know when I stream.